All right, today we're going to learn about globalization. We've got three objectives. We're going to explain globalization, list and describe the pros and cons of globalization, and argue whether globalization is good or bad. The world is becoming ever more connected. This is intensified thanks to computers and the internet as well as the liberal world order. The idea that goods are being traded from all over the world to the rest of the world. Cultures are also being transferred from one place to another as people move seeking new economic opportunities. This has created chaos, and in chaos is both opportunity for disaster and success. So globalization is this idea that the world is ever more connected through TV, through radio, through the internet, through trading, through moving, through vacation, all of those things. The world is more connected. Let's talk about the benefits. The first benefit is more efficient markets. There's this thing called comparative advantage. Comparative advantage is the idea that products are going to be made where it's most inexpensive to make them. For example, light bulbs. Light bulbs. Light bulbs. Let's say light bulbs are made in China. Why are they going to be made in China over the United States? Labor is going to be cheaper in China, so it's cheaper. You don't have to pay people as much. Maybe glass is very inexpensive in China. There's lots of different reasons why a good might be inexpensive to produce in one country and more expensive to produce in another country. And as long as we're producing things where it's the cheapest to make them, that's comparative advantage. Everyone benefits when the things that they want and need are cheap. And this improves overall the standard of living of most people. We're going to talk about that on the next slide. Because things are cheaper, people have more money in their pockets. People use this money to buy other things, which creates jobs. If you only have enough money to buy food, you're only going to buy food. But if food gets cheaper, you're going to buy food and you're going to buy a new phone. And now you need people to work in a factory to make a phone. So the cheaper your stuff is, the more stuff you have, the more people have jobs, the more money people have, the better standard of living everybody has. Infrastructure also improves because of globalization. If you're trading stuff between countries, you need good roads and good airports and good sea lanes, good safe sea lanes to move stuff. Everyone's lives are better off if things are inexpensive. Globalization leads to new friends. If someone is giving you stuff, you are not going to fight them. The same thing works between countries. Countries that trade with each other don't fight with each other. They need the other country too much. One of the first things countries often do when they don't like each other is impose sanctions. This is when trade is banned. Over here is how most of the stuff you own got to you. It was on a ship coming from China or Latin America or the Middle East. It was in a cargo container. This ship came into a major port, maybe Charleston, maybe New York, maybe San Francisco, maybe New Orleans. These cargo containers came off of this ship. They got on an 18-wheeler that moved to Walmart. The Walmart employees stocked the store, and you bought it. Boom. That's how globalization works. Finally, you get new ideas. When ideas are shared around the world, then people around the world can come up with solutions. It's always to have more eyes on a problem. You're going to come up with better ideas. This is most true within the scientific community, especially when human health is involved. If you think about DNA, DNA is first discovered in the Western world, in Europe and in the United States. Lots of different scientists looked at DNA and RNA, analyzed it, thought about it, talked about it, wrote about it, even modified it in animals and in crops. But a scientist in China in 2018 came up with this tool called CRISPR and used it to modify the DNA of a human being. 2 little girls, in fact. They modified them when they were still embryos, so long before they were born. Those 2 little girls were born, and their DNA has been modified using CRISPR to make them more resistant to the AIDS virus and HIV. Very controversial. Apparently, the scientists did not follow all the proper science channels, and I don't know a whole lot about that, but he broke a lot of rules. But anyway, it happened, and it happened because of globalization. He took the ideas that people in the West had already thought about, and he applied them. Now let's talk about disadvantages. Globalization, a big part of globalization is trading. It's trading. And it's about business, and it's about competition. The problem with competition is that somebody's got to lose. Sometimes entire countries lose. Let's talk about that on the next slide. So many countries were net losers of globalization, especially in the third world. So if we look at this map over here on the right, we can see less developed countries and most developed countries, first world countries and third world countries. Why are they called third world countries? Because they're not as developed as the first world countries. They don't have really good roads and really good water systems set in place. They don't have great schools and universities. They don't have welfare programs to make sure everybody eats. These countries want to be cool. They want to be first world. They want to be developed. But that's really hard to do. It's also very expensive. And we're going to talk about some of the costs of developing for the next few slides. But people in these countries aren't just going to stay put. They're going to move. If you have good opportunities somewhere else, you're going to go there and try to do that. And as a result, we have millions of people, especially in Latin America, move to developed countries. Lots and lots and lots of people. And it's because they want a better life. They want economic opportunities. The problem for them is that they're often undocumented. And this leads to their abuse by employers. If someone is undocumented, then legally they're not here. Which means you, as an employer, you should, but you don't necessarily follow the laws. You don't pay them a minimum wage. You don't give them a mandatory lunch break. Because legally they're not here. So these people, especially people who are undocumented, are highly exploited in the new countries that they show up to. They also bring their culture and opinions with them to their new homes. And some people don't like that. Some people do. Some people don't. And that can often lead to resurgent nationalism, which has kind of been a focus of this unit. Another disadvantage is when the home team loses. So we all benefit from cheap stuff, but what happens when your job moves to China? Globalization has had a tremendous effect on the working class in the developed world, the first world, like the United States. And this has led to the spread of populism and, again, in some cases, resurgent nationalism. The question that you have to answer for yourself, I can't answer it for you, is it better to pay more if it means you are providing an American a job? Let's think about this for a second. For a long time, clothing was manufactured in the American Southeast. Much of my family worked in textile mills throughout the 1900s. Those textile mills largely don't exist anymore. They've all moved to Asia because it's much cheaper to create those shirts and shoes and socks and clothing in Southeast Asia because labor is so cheap. You don't have to pay them as much. Would you rather pay for that shirt, pay more for that shirt because it was made in America, or do you just want the cheapest shirt? You don't care where it was made. That's a question that only you can answer. I can't give you that answer. But jobs moving, especially manufacturing jobs, blue-collar jobs, those jobs moving from the developed world, the first world, to the developing world, the third world, has had a tremendous effect, especially on middle-class populations. But at the same time, cheaper stuff benefits everybody. It's a double-edged sword. And finally, we have environmental disaster. Ultimately, globalization is all about producing stuff as cheap as possible. It's all about consumption. All the things you want to buy. The problem is producing stuff takes energy, and that energy comes from fossil fuels. Resources for stuff comes from forests, oceans, and the earth. Getting that stuff harms the environment. And we are consuming faster than the earth can heal. Fossil fuels create carbon dioxide, which the vast majority of scientists agree leads to climate change. Destroying forests, that harms wildlife, harms their environment. So, globalization is a great thing, but it has some serious negative consequences. The developing world, the third world, trying to develop, that leads to environmental devastation. Take a few minutes, answer your 3 daily objectives.